I am Pastor Scott with the Lathrop First Christian Church, and welcome to the very first SALT episode, where we speak truth, ask questions, live the gospel, and we tell others. This is a place where I'm going to put various videos over various topics, often probably related to church-specific news that I've been looking at, but it could be over a whole host of other things, who knows. Again, I'm Pastor Scott with Lathrop First Christian Church, so let's dive into the first episode of SALT. Today I want to open up talking about Gen Z. If you're not familiar with Gen Z, it's comprised of those ages 13 to 28. Basically, they're middle school through the early working life, maybe getting married, having kids. So if you've been reading Christian news sites lately, you've probably seen some headlines. Gen Z men are returning to church. It's catchy, it's hopeful, but it's also misleading. Because the real story isn't about Gen Z men coming back. It's about Gen Z women leaving. You see, most statistics show not a serious increase in Gen Z men participation, though some do show some modest increase. What you are seeing is a serious decrease from Gen Z women. For decades, women were more likely than men to stay connected to faith. But now, that's flipped. According to recent studies, 54% of Gen Z religious leavers, those leaving, are women. And 39% of Gen Z women now identify as religiously unaffiliated. That's more than Gen Z men. Polls like this is just a snapshot in time. So perhaps this self-corrects over time, or perhaps it's a warning to the church. Regardless, this isn't just a statistic. It's a shift. And behind every number is a story. Some of these articles interview women, and one young woman shared, "I was asked to serve before I was asked if I felt safe. I was expected to lead before I was invited to belong." Another woman said, "I love Jesus, but I didn't see myself in the church anymore." Now, as I ponder on this, I wonder if there is any connection to the men staying being the cause of women leaving. I don't know. Just a curious thought I have. But let's be honest. The church has often assumed that women are more spiritual, more loyal, more likely to stay. So sometimes we didn't ask what they needed. We just asked them to serve. We've created a culture where worth is tied to output, no different than the secular world. Bake a casserole, lead the retreat, teach the kids. But what if she's still asking, do I belong here? What if she's still wrestling with identity? And we just skip that part. Are we ensuring that our young women know that their identity is not tied to production, but simply a result of God's adoption of them? That they are truly daughters of God first and foremost before they are workers and servers? Gen Z women are navigating a world that's loud about who they should be and quiet about who they truly are. If the church doesn't walk with them through that identity journey, we risk losing them because they stopped feeling seen. So let's ask some questions of ourselves. Have we invited women to belong before we ask them to serve? Are we listening to their stories or just assigning them roles? What does it look like to nurture identity before expecting responsibility? And maybe, most importantly, what kind of church culture are we building? One that assumes loyalty or one that cultivates belonging? Jesus didn't start with assignments. He started with presence. He saw people. He listened. He called them by name. Before Martha was affirmed in her service, Mary was welcomed in her stillness. In a world that values output, Jesus valued presence. He said Mary had chosen the better part. Not because she did more, but because she knew she belonged. This is the gospel. It's not do more, but it's you belong. It's not prove your worth. It's receive your place here. Let's build a church where women aren't just asked to serve. They're invited to be known, to be safe, to be whole. And then let's tell them they belong. Let's affirm that. Let's listen to their story before assigning a role, and let's make space for presence before we ask for participation. As we close this first SALT video, please feel free to share it, subscribe to the page, the YouTube channel, but also leave a comment. Ask a question. Maybe about this video, maybe about something else, who knows. Perhaps you will be part of the next SALT video based off of that comment or that question. But this is SALT, where we speak truth, ask questions, we live gospel, and we tell others. Because salt isn't made to stay in the shaker. Stay salty out there, guys.